I guess I'll go on and make this video. Don't have a particular name for it. I know I had a lot on my mind, a lot of things I wanted to say. Sometimes you have so many things on your mind you don't know how to put it. It's a beautiful day. It's here in November. It's warm. In fact, it's November the 8th, Election Day. And I just got through doing one of the properties that I do. And I like how peaceful it is out here. God has shown me a lot of favor. But I think I want to encourage somebody. I want to say something to somebody. I don't know. Prayerfully you'll get it, and who knows? It might come back around to me. You can't follow what other people are saying the world is. Everybody has their own perspective. I was talking with a young man yesterday, and somebody is living from somebody else's report. You know, everybody is so fast to say that there's nothing out here. It's so hard. When you say things like that, where are you getting your information? Because if you're going off the testimony of other people, you don't know why their life is the way that it is. You don't know. You don't know if they gave up. You don't know if they're even doing the best that they can. You don't know. So you can't go by what they're saying. You can't live off their testimony. Whose testimony are you living off of? Your own? I've said it before and I'll probably keep saying it. If you want to change your world, change your way of thinking. Your health and your wealth is life's report card to your decision making. Now, granted, everybody may not have the opportunity to have any and everything that they want, but you do have opportunities. You do have a chance. Everybody wants to run from their problem. Something I found out in my studies. The feeding of the 5,000, the little boy with the 2 fish and 5 loaves was in the crowd. The woman that was going to lose her children for tax purposes because the father died. The prophet asked her, "What do you have in your house?" She said, "I got oil." Tell your sons, go get a bunch of vases and jars and fill them with oil and go sell them. This was in hard times. You know, God always uses what you have, which helped me to understand that every problem, I don't care what it is, with inside of every problem is a solution. God hides solutions inside of problems. I say it again. God will hide the solution inside the problem. And if you run from the problem, how will you ever find the solution? Didn't think about it like that, did you? And you got a bunch of people who always talk about their problems, but they never discuss the solution. It wasn't designed that way. Because if you're running from your problem, talking about the problem, you're not looking for the solution. If I'm looking for the solution, I don't have time to tell you about my problems. I'm too busy trying to find the solution on the inside. Because God wouldn't have given me the problem without giving me the solution. If it's nothing else but Him and trusting in Him. You know, we talk about walk by faith and not by sight. There's another way to look at that. Because there's a time to use your sight. Somebody is being discouraged because you're looking at how things are. You're looking at how bad the times are. Quit looking at how bad somebody else is having it and using their testimony, because you don't know what they're working with. Everybody wants to compete for everything. Compete for everything. No. And then they're comparing themselves. My Uncle David told me, he said, there's nothing wrong with competing, but never compare. Never compare. Because you don't know what that man got to work with to achieve what he's achieving. An individual who's just starting in the lawn care, who has some beautiful push lawnmowers, can't compare herself to me. Not that I'm any better than him, but I've walked with God and God has given me enough equipment to do larger properties in a smaller amount of time. You have to give yourself time. You can't compare yourself. If I wanted to start a new business, I'm not going to compare myself to the guy who's been in that business for some time. Give yourself time. Even in the world, it took time for me to learn what I was doing. Right or wrong, it takes time. So first, quit comparing yourself to other people, because you don't know what they had to do to get it. And quit wanting what somebody else has. Don't worry about what other people are saying about you too, because people will put you down. You watch those people who want to sit around you when you have nothing. I'm learning more and more about this poverty mentality. A poverty mentality always makes you think somebody owe you something. This world feels so entitled, like somebody owes them. Nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself something. And how you going to be more concerned at what somebody else didn't give you as opposed to what you're not giving yourself? You're not giving yourself an opportunity. You're not giving yourself a chance. It's not like that, family. If you don't have the things in life that you want, it doesn't have to be that way. But it takes time. People tell you don't pay Jesus any attention. Okay. See how their life working out for them. Hey, and if their life is working out for them, you might not want what they want. Everybody want to say they self-made. Jesus Christ made me. And I'm going to stand on that. I don't have anything that Jesus hasn't given me. And it's a process. They'll stand around. Here's something I discussed with somebody. I'm going to let you have this for free. And I'm going to leave this whole situation on because I've held you too long. You remember in Psalm 23 when he says, "Thou preparest the table for me in the presence of my enemies"? There's a reason for that. Some people thought that the reason God prepared a table for you in the presence of your enemies is so that they can see you get your turn. And so they could stand around and watch when they dogged you, that now you got something to eat. When they put you down, now you got something to eat. When they wanted you to fail, they see you succeeding. And then God says he'll prepare the table for you in the presence of your enemies. And you want to think that this is an aha moment and finally look at me shine. Wrong. Dead wrong. God prepares the table for you in the presence of your enemies to show you you. Are you going to invite them to sit down and eat with you? Are you going to get up from the table and take them some food if they're standing? They're too proud to sit next to you. God said, "I prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies." Did you ever think it was to see what you're going to do for your enemies? I mean, haven't you read where it says, "Bless those who despitefully misuse you"? It didn't say just bless those who happened or accidentally misused you, if that's a word. No, he said those who spitefully misused you. There are those who have done things to me on purpose. On purpose. Okay. How am I gonna treat them? Because this lawn care service, the way I live, this is the table that God prepared for me. And he did it in the front of my enemies. In other words, he didn't have to let me die and go to heaven and make my table. It's here. Not only did he prepare the table, he set my wife at the table. He set my grandchildren at the table. And there's plenty of chairs to sit around for anybody who wants to come. The table is set. I like it when my partner Conway, he always say, "Gene, when you come here, the table is set. Come on." He don't stand dating anymore. He always like, "Come on, man, the table's set." And it comes to my life, the table is set. Some people don't sit at your table because they know what they bring to the table. Because your table is in the light. And if your table is in the light, then if they have something in darkness, it's going to be exposed. I've gotten individuals, and I'm quite sure some of you too, some people have a problem with me Not because of what I done to them, but because of what I didn't do for them. Now, ain't that crazy? It's not what I did to them, it's what I didn't do for them. And nobody owes anybody anything at all. Some people are sitting there saying he could have gave me this and she could have gave me that and she could have done this and she could have done that. Why didn't you do it for yourself? For years, I looked for a father figure. Because my dad, I love him, but to this day leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to being a father. But he can only do what he knows. He can only be himself. Sister Margaret, who's gone on home now, she once said to me, she said, God told me to tell you, you are what you're looking for. I said, really? She said, you are what you're looking for. And along the line, I've come up on some wonderful father figures. Wonderful. Men who have left impressions that taught me what a man is. And I'm grateful for them. And I try to honor them by being what they invested for other men to follow. For my granddaughters to see. This is a version of a man. This is a man. I might not be the man other people think I should be. But when I look in the mirror, I see a man. When I put these old boots on, I see a man. When I'm making decisions on what to buy, what not to buy, what business to get in, what business not to get in, I see a man. When I grab my wife and hold my wife, she has a man holding her, loving her. I don't need all the money in the world. Because I don't care if you got all the money in the world. If you're not getting any self-satisfaction, if you don't feel fulfilled, you failed. I don't care where you are in life, what you're doing in life. If whatever you're doing doesn't give you fulfillment, you're a failure. Now, everything got new levels, and that's fine. But I just want to leave you with that. If you are in a situation and you're not getting any fulfillment, that's because you're failing. Stop taking other people's advice. Stop running after other failures. Stop running after people who are not consistent. Trust God. He's consistent. He's consistently woke you up every day of your life. He's consistently delivered you every day of your life. He's consistently gave you a reason not to kill yourself. He's consistently kept sickness away from you. He's consistently delivered you. He's consistently made sure that your family was covered. He's consistently kept you when a family member left here. He's consistently got those off their sick beds. He's consistent. What are you going to be consistent in? Why don't you be consistent in trusting him, loving him? Won't you find out what it's like? Because I'm going to end it with this. He says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor has it entered into the imagination of the good things that God has prepared for those who just love him. Why don't you try loving him and see how he treats you? Give him some time. Find out exactly what it's like to love Jesus Christ and see how your life turns out. My time is up. I thank you for yours. It's time for me to move on. God bless you.